I'm putting on the audio and I'm transitioning over to the main scene. Is everybody's head where it's supposed to be? Yes, it is, except for Kelly, who is currently away. Welcome back to Cosmos Candela. I am your game mommy. My name is Steve, and I am joined by the wonderful Kooky Cosmonauts. Say hello, Kooky Cosmonauts.
Hello,
What's up, bro?
Cosmonaut.
Quasars.
I hate everything.
Nonetheless, we are back from last session. We had to start a little late today, but we're back in play. Last time, our group we had a very sad and emotional and significant scene with Eddie to sort of kick it off.
I made myself sad with that.
Yeah, that was an Eddie.
It was good shit.
That was a will coordinated decision, and it's very good.
Oh, yeah,
and I very
100%.
much enjoyed it. Then we went back to Quasars and the organization and Mark and
Freaking Mark.
and Mark.
Get milk, Mark.
Get milk,
Get
Mark.
the milk.
And it
Mark
shouldn't be
milk,
denied.
not the fun way.
It should be denied. We also saw targeted sniper degree abilities of projectile vomiting on Mark from a certain Tery bite. Let's never forget that.
That is true.
Well,
Legend.
But
legend,
because Mark was being challenging and everyone kind of agreed to be part of the organization. Izzy more aggressively so than others.
There was free pizza involved. Okay.
Yeah. Izzy's like integrated very aggressively to the company culture instantly.
His loyalty can be bought for a slice.
Did I plan for one of the one of the organization's benefits to be pizza parties? No, I didn't plan for that, but I'm glad that's the way it went due to my anti-capitalist satirical hellbent. For people that happen to be in the stream chat, I am disclaimering that I apologize as the GM. I never really look at it to like engage with it because I'm busy. But we're happy to have you. And but more importantly, at the end,
I'm here for you, chat.
Yeah, this is where the players come in.
Oh, baby.
I love all the little item call outs like that this little parser does. It's like, remember, you use the term cyber vape and astro spam. And I'm like, so serious.
No, not the astro spam.
How could you forget about astro spam?
Because then it tastes better
The
if you
whole point
don't
is to
think
forget
about
it. The more you think about it, the worse it gets. The whole point is to not think about it. You have to forget.
But more importantly,
Bye,
you
baby.
found out some secret information about yourselves. You found out that you have a bunch of dossiers on you. You found out a little bit more about your own personal mysteries, the companies that track you. You found out that suddenly, per Grimm, that you have to go and look into a location of an agent in Velis that is put in like almost like a text message, like beeper page 911 thing, and drop their GPS coordinates due to a critical issue where there might be danger of some sort. But before you left, somebody had to go under the knife, and that somebody. Was Nim de Plume. Nobody left. Nobody left Nim de Plume behind.
I'll leave you.
But Milo.
I'm ready to crush this tennis ball if need be.
Go for pizza?
Izzy and Eddie are upstairs getting pizza.
I'm literally watching your back.
Milo
Yeah,
with
right.
Kilo looming over them, baked out of their mind from the free baggie of smokables. I'm in Washington State, from the free bag of weed.
Space basil.
Yeah, of space basil, which is just weed.
A little oregano.
Is
oregano.
disabling the extreme amounts of monitoring that Gray Industries had placed on Nim de Plume as one of their employees. And that is where we left in the surgery. Kilo, give me a D6 roll.
Yeah.
Give me D6 roll.
We didn't even do it.
I'm going to say D6 roll since you're watching it. For the D6 roll, I need it to be a survey. A survey or focus.
I'm going to say I'm there, but I'm not watching. Tery's is like...
Survey.
Oh, Tery's just there, like, cover the eyes.
I imagine Tery's not, yeah.
I got a 5.
5. Okay.
5.
Kilo, first thing you notice, Grem is very capable at this with their various surgery devices. At first, there's a little bit of tension because they seem so absolutely nonchalant about all of their gestures and movements. But it is turns out that they, as a former surgeon that has been disgraced and had their license taken away, it wasn't because they were bad at surgery. It was for some other reason.
Something illegal.
But they were able to casually. But B, you don't have a lot of like necessarily medical knowledge, and you don't have a lot of technical knowledge. But you do see them attach something onto sort of the biometric tracker that all of you kind of have as part of living on the station in Velis. It's sort of injected to you in your lower spinal column area, wherever that might be for your species. You do see them attach something in there. Well, that's opened up, like add a piece in there. And everything. You can do with that what you will. You don't know if it's necessary or not, but you do see it happen.
Hey, Milo.
Yeah.
What you got right there?
Oh, this is part of the suppression agent, but it's also gonna be a bit of an enhancement for Nim.
What kind of enhancement?
And just to be clear, Nim, you're fully awake on the table, just facing down, laid out.
Are you giving me steroids?
No, it's not steroids. It's not steroids.
It doesn't look like steroids.
It's an enhancement for this. It's gonna give us the ability to temporarily upload particular information that you may need access to. But we need it to not be tracked by like normal data pass through. It's on its own.
So you're injecting a
system.
VPN into my spine?
Essentially, yeah. Think of it like a direct satellite connection to just us. And
it's not the worst idea.
Yeah, and so eventually we'll get this upgrade for all of you. But I'm gonna upgrade it into Nim because the piece there, it's a longer surgery to do it. This only works for people who've worked for Gray Industries. The moment that they received this from Gray Industries, it's like the kit's already ready to receive this kind of an update, as opposed to your all, which if you've never, since none of you all have probably worked there, I'd have to replace it fully upgrade it, and that takes like a couple hours, and we don't have that kind of time. So for now, Nim, you are information mission coordinator with this. If you see something...
And it's safe.
It's like 95% safe.
95.
Safe as anything else. Listen, I'm not going to guarantee. The other 5 is the mystery of life. All right, and they just sew up Nim.
I hold up all 4 arms like there's nothing I can do here.
Milo turns
arms,
around when your arms are held up and just jumps and high fives the lower left one and is like, "Yeah, great job." All right.
Yeah. Great.
Little quick antiseptic, antibiotic, anti-bacterial gel. Anyway, I'm gonna go back to smoking in case anyone needs me. Looking over at Grem, and Grem's like, "No, you can go, Milo. Great, thanks again.
I want to know about that other 5% later.
Yeah. They all want guarantees and perfect explanations.
That's why they lost their license. I know it. That 5%.
That 5%.
So yeah.
All right, so Nim, you're ready to go. You are no longer being hard, like as aggressively tracked by Gray Industries, where they can no longer turn on your eyeballs and record things.
Yeah.
My
eyes are my own.
Your eyes are your own. You're more like
That's
the rest
so
of the
weird.
station, and like you thought you were up until just moments ago. Where
Right.
you know that Velis can, in theory, like do a trace to find your biometric signature on the station and things like that. But there are laws, there are procedures. This isn't a full like absolute police state. So
It's more
far.
like, for
So
missing
just-
persons, like there you are.
Yeah.
So wait.
Are you
Just
really
for
sick on your sick day?
clarification. So Nim did not know that they could do this. Just see through her eyes.
No, when she looked at her little booklet, and she was like, "Oh, there's videos from my own eyes." I didn't fucking know that was fucking happening.
Because like, think about like,
what if I was looking at people's butts and they would know?
Yeah, like what if you were with a partner?
That was the
what if
first
you, like
thing I
there's
thought.
there's so many compromising situations where some
Weird
creep
mirror
behind a screen could have been
dances,
like, well,
you
let's
know?
see what Nim is up to. Ugh.
Yeah, it's bad.
No, yeah, that's why she's like, yeah, give me. It's like I hate the idea, but give me the fucking surgery. I want my eyes back.
It should be. It should be for all of you. At least, like it's like there should be a range of that's not allowed to that's really terrible and people need to know to. Of course, that's what happens. I always knew that that's what happened. Kind of energy. You should have the same energy you would have if you found out that like actually Amazon was 100% or Android or whoever, Google was 100% gathering full recordings of everything you say and do because you have microphones in your house and or phone. And where you're like, I know they could be doing that.
Give me a law, because I forget so many things that I've said.
Yeah, and yeah, it's like I know they could be doing that, but it would be a lot of data, so it's unlikely, and they don't need to do that with my browsing history, giving them so much information about me for marketing purposes and money purposes. But apparently, Gray treats it almost like body cams on cops, where it's like always ready to come on at any given time and actually hold on to recorded data.
Gives me the ick.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's not good.
It's very scary.
So Graham is like Graham punches in a few buttons on a keyboard at a workstation, and Nim, you immediately we know what Eddie uses as sort of his like kind of go-to smartware device. Nim, do you keep it entirely in audio in an earpiece, or do you have like essentially a modern version of a smartphone, or do you how do you prefer to receive your internet and like data information? Check your calendar, see messages.
She usually goes between an audio headset and then probably some sort of phone thing so that she can like do a lookup, do a type up of some sort.
For
some of the jobs, she'll be like sitting there like typing up the CC or whatever. So those are the ones that she's most comfortable and familiar with.
So you get a little update dossier with the location and directions on it. Nim, I'm gonna have you roll, and I just gave you all those drives, and you're welcome to generically burn this.
You're so driven.
I'm so driven.
So driven. I'm gonna have you roll for me, and this is based off of aligning with Nim's preference, and this is a little bit outside of the logic of the world. I'm more out in the gamification of playing a TTRPG game.
Gamification.
Nim. If it was up to Nim, just Nim's personal preferences and yours as a player,
Yeah.
Physical or social danger, which is the one you'd rather have it be?
Oh Lord. Physical or social danger?
So like, and when I say social danger, I mean legal danger, being spotted, like social complications or pure physical threat. Which would you rather have it be, or which would Nim rather have it be, if you don't have a preference as a player? What do you think your character would rather deal with?
Oh.
So the consequences are going to be more leaning toward one or the other. And this is me randomizing where you go.
Yeah.
If you can't pick, I can flip a coin.
Yeah, let's flip a coin.
Flip a coin. Okay.
I feel like they're both very equally bad in very different ways.
I haven't seen
I think
a
they'd both
coin
be
in
very
years.
interesting to play around with.
I know I have a coin.
You could also just go to a web page and
Wait, is that in
No.
character or out of character for
Doing it
I
Terry's
have
life?
a coin. Hold on. Nobody move. I'm getting a coin.
Okay.
Nobody
I don't
move.
know what a
We're
coin
getting a
is.
coin. I'm getting a coin.
Gonna get a coin.
Coin?
She's getting a
It's
coin.
not going to be pennies, that's for sure.
In this day and age, pennies?
No. They
Oh yeah, after what happened with the
well, they just executive
we finished
ordered.
for so long.
There's just a new
Okay.
executive order pronouncement that we're going to stop minting pennies right now, and no one knows if it's allowed to happen, but we'll find out.
Okay.
Okay, let's go.
All right. So Abby, what do you want heads to be?
Heads will be
Heads or
social
tails?
because that makes sense, and
Heads
is
then
social?
tails is
Yeah,
physical.
cover your tail,
Does that make
physical. Cover. So if it comes up tails, it's physical. If it comes up heads, it's social.
Yeah.
Tails.
Physical.
Okay.
All right,
Physical.
Abby.
Oh,
I still
yeah.
need a D6 roll
Let's
from you.
get physical.
This is kind of a set the tone of how bad the situation is. And you're rolling 1d6. This is just a luck roll, but I will allow you to use your drives up to, I'm going to say 2 drives. So you can use up to 2 of the drives. I just let you recover from whatever category you want to. So you can burn them from whatever. If you want to roll an extra d6 per drive, so you can roll, you can burn 1 drive and roll 2 d6. And the idea is this, like, how bad is it when you get there? How challenging is this going to be for you guys to pull out a full success from it? And so this is on you for rolling it and deciding how many of your character drives you want to burn for it. Or none. You can do none. I will tell you there's no version of this roll that makes it impossible. I'm not having you
Also,
go into
Abby,
a possible situation.
if your spirit is tugging against the tails decision, it's within your power to go heads. Just saying.
Yeah.
No, I'm vibing with it. I'm just deciding on.
You're doing that
drives
thing
or
where
not.
you flip the coin and then you see the thing and you're like, I didn't think I had an opinion,
and
but
if
now
you're like,
I do.
oh, this is wrong.
And yeah, then I'm
No,
like,
yeah,
well, I guess I
was sitting
did.
there. I was
This
like,
is
you
the
know what?
wrong
Vibes.
answer.
Yeah.
Vibes. Sure. 100%.
Super salad. No, soup.
I'm going to use 1 extra drive.
Okay, so 2d6 take the higher roll. And again, nothing, even if you get a 1, 2 ones, it's not going to be an impossible situation. It'll just be a lot fucking headier.
It'll just be a rough day in the office.
Let's go.
Nim's bad day.
That was a pair of 3s.
All right, pair of 3s. That's not.
Could be worse.
Could be
That was
worse.
a pair of 3s.
Middling.
Middle ground.
And everything. All right, Nim.
Let's get middle physical.
Middle physical.
Middle physical. Let's work on our cores, folks.
Let's get mediocre.
Nim.
Half physical, half physical.
You get this warning. You get the location. The location is something you're familiar with, not because you've ever been there yourself, but you've worked for various companies and various jobs, and you know that the location there is the drop shipping sort of warehouse automation place where, like, a lot of, like, essentially things that people would order on the internet and have automatically drone delivered to their doorstep or workplace or wherever they're at in a certain amount of time. So an Amazon warehouse, if you will. The location is inside of a warehouse of one of these drop shipping locations. Fortunately, because it wasn't a 1 or a 2, it's not a Gray Industries one. And so it's just some web company that I'll make one of you come up with a name for that's funny and silly. But they are a Temu-y kind of Amazon-y kind of like online retailer. Buy the thing and it comes from a warehouse somewhere and comes to your door. Energy place. And that's in the light industrial district, which is not too far away from where Eddie lives in as far as overall station location, but like a solid like 30-minute walk from Eddie's house, so not close. like
Yeah.
quite the distance. Not where a lot of houses are, not where a lot of residences are, a lot of commercial work, and it being the kind of middle of the workday, probably something's going down. And there's like a lot of it's automated, but there are still a lot of human beings that work in this area and everything, or humanoids, I should say, and aliens of different sentience that work in this area. So you know that it's there. You're in your current location, probably about an hour of foot travel away, or if you take like a transport pod, you're like 15 minutes away. But you'd have to all get back into Tery's Cybertruck, or Eddie for the first time into Tery's Cybertruck.
The Cybertruck.
Never.
He's such a good driver, though.
He
He
is.
is. Very capable.
So
I submitted an idea for the name, by the way.
Oh, is it already somewhere?
I have several.
Yeah, just pitch them in the chat. I'll take a beat to look at them.
I think the one that I like the best is Poubelle.
Okay, Poubelle. I don't know what Poubelle.
It's French for trash.
Ah, very nice, very nice. But all of you are able to roll out. They give you all some pretty standard equipment issue stuff, but nothing's like that expensive, or they don't have like a locker of sick weapons or anything like that on hand, and everything. But like you all get some like you all get like you have access to like a first aid kit for like normal like bandage repair and stuff like that. You get like a kind of a general antidote thing. You each have one. Or there's six. There's 6 in a pack, so 1 + 1 of like a general. So if you get hit with any kind of poison gases or poison things, and you're worried about it, you take that. It'll hit a good majority of them, unless they're particularly expensive and bespoke. And you get a handful of non-lethal options, including little knockout gas grenades. That are like actually about the size of golf balls, and they just land on the ground, and very like Batman the Animated Series, they land on the ground, there's a couple beats of silence, and then suddenly like a bunch of gas just goes from different little sections on them and like fills the room. So you do have some knockout gas, and you have like a net, some zip ties to cuff people up, some links of cloth to gag people, like some very basic analog-y type stuff. But yeah.
If I may.
Yeah.
Because this feels like a really good opportunity to explain why Eddie has a couple of the things in his inventory that he does as a starting character.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because otherwise there would never really be a reason for him to have a bleed containment vial or bleed detector.
Mm-hmm.
So
okay.
While we're in here, he's going to be like poking around at all of this stuff, and then come to the things that are like I said, he's going to come to a let's see, a bleed detector. That's got to be something that's like a that's going to be it's almost like a PKE meter, like the thing that they have in Ghostbusters, that like when they move it around, it has those antennas that kind of go, and when it's when it detects it. And bleed containment vial, I'm not even sure. Like, Steve, you would actually be able to tell me what a bleed containment vial would look like in here, because you know more about the nature of the thing that we are potentially investigating.
Bleed containment vial would we're gonna keep with the Ghostbusters theme. It's not a bleed containment vial, it's a bleed containment box. And it's both an EM pulse field kind of thing where it suppresses something, and a sample gathering thing that like pulls a bunch of microparticles out of the air and sucks it in. And if I could express it as simply as possible, it's very much like the little Ghostbuster containment boxes. You throw it out, you kick it out, it has an area of effect. And so if there's anything that could be on the psychic spectrum of sort of like psychic version of EM field stuff, it will automatically it will disassemble the source of it and interfere with the source of it while it collects the sample and hold that up, but it's very temporary. It's not very powerful, so it only lasts for a handful of minutes before it doesn't have enough power to keep the field up. But then the samples are grabbed, and it will grab samples of all kinds of cells. So any particulates in the air, any plant matter that it can pull off of, any sort of like skin or like flesh cells and everything like that. And it does feel, when you kick it out, it does feel like it has a kind of a gentle, like, not so much a hard suction, but like if you put your hand behind a fan that's placed the other way and it's pulling, like air through it, just like a gentle amount of suction. If you get too close to it, you're like, if you have hair, it'll kind of like draw toward it a little bit and everything like that. But like, it's not drastic. So it's much less like violent version or like aggressive version of that. But like, it's that, and it's kind of that kick out thing. I like the idea that it's just sort of like a very Ghostbusters thing. In fact, I might just code that a lot of the tech that Eddie has on him is Ghostbusters energy tech, because it's a fun aesthetic for a guy like Eddie to have. And surely there's a brand that sells things that look industrial like that.
Yeah, like, I mean, Eddie already looks like he could be out of an episode of Extreme Ghostbusters anyway.
Yeah, there you go.
Not the original Extreme Ghostbusters, not the original.
Yeah.
So the other couple of things that Eddie is going to probably look in, or at least grab, because it's like there'll be books, and one of the, and they're like basically about like what they're getting, like some of the weird stuff that happens on Velis, or it's like maybe like sort of the origins of it. Because once again, I'm basically trying to fill out the occult text and divination tools here as well. Because once again, Eddie wouldn't really have those on his person beforehand.
Right.
As for divination tools, while he's over near the books, he finds a deck of tarot cards.
Ooh.
Uh-oh.
Ooh.
Okay.
And he picks them up. Like, who's here with us?
Right now, whole squad, Graham and Mark. Milo is up top, already smoking more weed.
Wait, these are real?
Graham's no, I'm not going to give you Graham for this. Mark's like, what? Yeah, they're real. They're tarot cards. You don't know about tarot?
Oh no, I know all about tarot.
Yeah,
my mom used to read people's cards for like quick couple of bucks.
Yeah,
side hustle kind of stuff.
Yeah, those are tarot cards.
I always thought it was just like superstition.
I mean, in like a world where like people can fly and there's maybe a space alien that's communicating with a bunch of the thing, why would like tarot? It's a little different here than it would be on, say, a different planet, but like, yeah, it's all real. It's like the future isn't prescribed, but we've had glimpses into predictive dimensional models of things. So yeah, it's real. And he goes, give them. And he goes to grab them from you.
Do you mind if I hold on to these ones?
Because it's Mark, I need you to roll for it. Because they're Mark's.
Okay.
But I like this. I like the idea of like, maybe this helps Mark build a bridge finally with you, or not.
All right, so this is going to be what? Cunning?
Yeah, so I'm going to say that this is probably sway. Or maybe if you want to, you can do hide, sleight of hand, and do that too, and just kind of keep them away from him.
Yeah, I'll do that because I don't have any dice for sway. So.
Yeah. All right.
That's a 6.
So you sleight of hand and you kind of keep them away. Can I hold those? And he keeps kind of grabbing for them. And you're not like drastically doing it. You're like subtly just moving it out of the path of his hand and everything. And eventually Graham's like, Mark, if one of them thinks that it's useful, we should give it to them. They have this mission. It's a severity 2 mission. Like it's a status 2 mission. So do it. It's fine. If something happens to them, I'll buy you new ones, Mark. It's like, not gonna be special edition ones from a limited series. I'll buy you the special edition ones. You don't even know how much they cost.
A child.
Mark!
What?
Just from across the room.
What? And then
Shut up!
guys are mean.
I love the idea of them being special edition tarot cards, like they're like they're trading cards or something like that.
They've got like gold foil
Give me a
trim.
tarot
They're
card.
really
Like,
nice.
Yeah.
They actually work.
I want you. I've got some unfortunate news for you because remember, in all things, capitalism is the enemy, and everything. These are tarot cards. Your mom. Not all tarot cards are this. There's tarot cards made across the galaxy, across the universe, and everything. So not all tarot cards are this. But on Velis, most people's tarot cards are distributed by one tarot card distributor named Hasbro that absolutely produces pretty much, if it's a card, it's made and distributed by Hasbro.
Beautiful.
In this hellscape,
Hasbro cards with me.
You can never escape it, Will. You can never escape.
So can I tell a brief?
Wait, can I?
Just tell a brief tangent as an aside? So being unemployed, I've been sending out my resume to various like game companies. I've applied at Asmodee. I've applied at Paizo, and I was telling my mom about this, and she said, "Why wouldn't you go apply for Wizards of the Coast or Hasbro?" I'm like, Mom,
I can't.
Do you know how much shit I've talked about them on social media? Like I have 28,000 people on TikTok that follow me because I talk shit about Hasbro.
All right, so you've got the location.
Hey, look at just one of your videos, you're gone.
Yeah.
You got the location.
Immediately.
You know where you're gonna go. You know it's instant. Are you gonna go by foot, or are you gonna go in Tery's? Does the group want to go by foot or in Tery's Cybertruck? I know that right now Julia's having connectivity issues, or for the camera.
my camera died
Okay.
because of battery.
Wait, can I do something for Mark really quickly?
Yeah.
Oh Lord.
I just give him like one of my pro cards because there's a chance I got a card or two of myself on there, so I just autograph it and give it to him.
Just a random card.
You know what? You don't.
It's a random card of me.
You don't. I know you're not at your computer right now, obviously, and everything like that. If you have a die on hand, you can. I can also just roll it for you. I need a sway roll.
Oh, I have a thingy in sway.
Yeah, so
dice, right?
No, a single dot means it's one. If you want to spend a drive on it, you can add to it, but
nope, for
not for this
purposes only.
I love the concept of Izzy giving a card to put in the new tarot deck, so that when someone is shuffling up and doing a card reading, oh yes, I see fortune in your future and a former athlete and sports star. Okay, no, you are going to meet someone.
Yeah, I rolled a 6.
You're gonna get a headache in your future.
A 6. Fish eye, fish camera lens. Amazing. We're back.
Shining bright like a diamond.
So, Izzy, you immediately recognize that Mark is super amped about this, and then tries to cover it up. Mark's like, thanks, Izzy.
No problem, dude. You've been having a hard time since you've been here, so might as well give you a little something.
This is a card I've actually been looking for my collection, but because it's Mark, we can't have it actually be a good thing. So it's specifically for what I can't remember the name of the sport that you don't want to play. It's specifically the
Of course it is.
pro card. So you know that Mark really appreciates it and is very excited, and you can obviously see it's affected his opinion of you in a positive way for the thing you don't want people to do because it's Mark.
I want to begrudgingly offer a high five, just like that awkward, like, yeah.
Trying to stay peppy.
the absolute most clearly, I'm not used to people giving me high five in return. He connects, but like he's like it is so.
We'll work on it. You gotta aim for the elbow. You gotta aim here.
It's like trying to dab up a white dad from Oklahoma. They don't know what you're doing, but they want to participate because
the most enthusiastic. Yeah.
The day my father learned how to do the floss dance was the day that I died.
Yeah, exactly.
It was so bad.
We'll work on that, dude. We'll work on it.
Tery, are you gonna be the driver again for the group or not?
Getaway driver.
If they want me to.
Here, let me first adjust your sound a little bit, Tery.
Hello?
Yeah. I think it's picking up off your whatever your webcam sound is
It's picking up off a different mic.
Mike.
Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah,
it's just a much worse quality mic.
Yeah.
No, it's gonna be.
And now nothing.
Hello? Hello?
There you go. Better
Hey, we
mic
got
again.
you.
Hey,
Yay.
Okay. It's
There's
like
the
Yeah,
melodious
I'm
voice
using-
of Julia.
Yeah, I'm using like an AirPod as
Yeah.
a camera. A calculator.
yeah.
Doing so good.
Nonetheless, yeah. So Tery, car, you gonna drive again? It's your car. You have to offer.
Yeah, if they want me to. Do you guys want me to drive?
Do you
That
want to
might be an
drive?
idea.
Yes.
We can get there quick and then park a bit of ways. So,
Mhm.
Yes,
Yeah,
Nim
I'll
knows where we're
drive.
going.
Yep.
So she gets shotgun.
I'll
Okay.
drive.
That means Nim and Tery, probably the two physically smallest people, get the two front seats, and
And
Eddie's
Terry, when we approach the car, I'm gonna look at Eddie to see his reaction.
Eddie, I don't believe you were here for the protracted car discussion.
It's so tragic.
So when I say that Tery owns a Cybertruck, I cannot express to you how much that, other than gently hovering and everything and not having wheels on it, it is a Tesla Cybertruck. That is what it looks like. That is the
It's so
quality of
tragic.
the vehicle it is. Yeah. And so he also had the option of this world's PT Cruiser, which was the other car that he has.
And you chose Cybertruck?
It's Tery. What do you expect?
It's
He's
Tery.
dumb.
So does Eddie try to hide his reaction to it? Because it is not only in physical look, but in the reaction of the general public, the same as well. Like, a bunch of very bro-y people got Cybertrucks and were all excited and pre-ordered them years in advance, and then they got them, and maybe not Tery specifically because he's so worried about public perception and people thinking he's good and smart and everything. So he doesn't have that energy of us like, I will die on this hill for this car that was obviously bad choices. He just stopped mentioning it, but he desperately still wants that approval for it. And so it's important to know how Eddie's instant reaction is and if he tries to cover it up or not to a Cybertruck.
Eddie is Eddie's going to take one look at it and just be like, Tery?
Oh, yes.
Why do you have a fascist mobile?
I can I get back to you with that? I'm gonna talk to Alexander. I didn't know I was a fascist.
No. I mean,
Yeah?
I hope you aren't.
Come here.
Oh no, yeah, I hope so too.
Demons?
Because it's.
We thought it was the fastest mobile.
No, like I thought that this, the guy that made this is total fascist.
Okay, it's because it's my mobile, so I thought I was the fascist.
No.
Okay.
Well, I mean, it's like was it a conscious decision to get this vehicle?
I just asked the most um the coolest
The
car?
most trending, coolest, expensive vehicle at the time.
Ran a
Yes.
poll.
And then
Also,
and you had to reserve it
Oh.
years in advance, which is total influencer bait.
Yeah.
wait, we
And
don't
Gotcha.
need to establish fantasy Elon Musk here, do we?
No.
Can we just pretend this
No.
vehicle exists outside?
So this vehicle exists
ain't-
from a more classic logical corporation. Think of it more like how BMW or something
Yeah.
operates, or like, so so it is in the way that all that is, but there's but like the organization, but the response to it was very much like only this category of
Okay.
people defends it.
Okay.
And so
All right.
so
I was
yeah.
like, we
maybe-
don't need to bring him here.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like
This is supposed to be
unless,
good
This is gonna be
fantasy.
fucked
unless
up
it
enough
is,
without
unless
it.
it is today, like unless this is today what like Hitler's involvement with Volkswagen was.
No, it's much more like a shitty corporate. Like, think more
A
the
bad
face
car.
of this car would have the face of the company that makes this car is more like the CEO of Oracle. Also a fascist, but like less in the public eye about it and nonsensy
Gotcha,
about it.
okay.
Like classic capitalist energy.
Sure, okay.
Not. There's not a direct one-to-one comparison of Elon in Velis.
Okay.
Because I would like to think that in the
Thank
future
God.
some things would progress,
Can
and
there
we'd be
never
like, no. There's a
Please.
lot of Steve Jobs out there. There's not as many Elons out there. So there's a lot of people that trump themselves up to be geniuses that are just pitchmen. And then we don't celebrate people completely like that. At least in the industry space, maybe in the political realm, but.
Okay.
But yeah, and so, but the fascist mobile stands. Tery, I don't think you'd be unused to this reaction and being like, can I get back to you on that? Or we'll do it. Because, of course, when people discovered it, you found out that some of your audience didn't seem to like it. So you're like, yeah, but I don't drive it so much. And then you just did what a proper influencer does. Not talk about the controversy and move on, because there's too much going on and people do not keep track. And so in majority.
And maybe I think maybe like my followers, my community is not as straightforward as Eddie because they
No,
because they're fans.
They're fans.
So
like, there's always going to be the vocal minority,
Yeah, they're probably
and then
like,
the
oh,
normal.
he has contracts he has to, fulfill. He has to have this car. They probably make
all
excuses.
the same excuses everyone makes for the influencer.
And
Yeah.
I have a hater blocker on
Of
my
course,
streams.
Alexander
Yeah.
also definitely set you up with a phenomenal group of moderators that absolutely do not cause you mental distress. Because it's not like your manager doesn't know who you are. And so, I mean, he does consider you his best friend. So Eddie, after that interaction, just to get this moving into the direction of the complication, you all pile into the car.
Top of car. Izzy still takes the top.
Izzy still sits on the top and just like suctions to the thing with the little feet. So Kilo and Eddie in the back, Izzy on top, Tery and Nim in the front, Tery driving. No need to roll to drive. We've already established that you're a very, very solid like on the scale of driver, you'd be extremely competent. Maybe not a stunt driver, but like good at driving.
Surprisingly competent.
For a person that asked, why would I want to drive? At the start.
You do such a good job.
And Nim automatically uploads the coordinates into the nav. So the vehicle kind of moves into the various lanes through Velis. Again, normal day around Velis. Everything seems to be operating normally. No one's to know at this moment that there's any kind of trouble or drama anywhere on the station other than, what you would normally have in a large metropolitan area. What people normally assume goes on. And you make it to the light commercial district. The light commercial district is mostly warehouses and some like repair shops and industrial things, the occasional vehicle lot, but it's mostly industries and large buildings and things to service people, but not to make things. Not to. So there's not a lot of manufacturing that goes on here. But there's there's also this. So in the modern era, I would say if instead of there being a bunch of like call centers and offices, if you looked at a business park with a bunch of large buildings and everything, it would be like a business park energy. So it's relatively clear skies, relatively empty on the streets. You know that people go here. There are drop-off zones for things. There are a few little tiny diners that service people for lunch that are kind of scattered around, but they're not like classic, like standalone restaurants. They're much more functionary in buildings or like at the edges of buildings. And there's the occasional delivery driver and delivery service and a bunch of delivery drones. And when I say a bunch, I mean like imagine a gathering of birds, like a gathering of like migrating birds that's just hanging out in your area. Like a full, when I say a bunch, it's dense and it's there's that kind of background hum that exists, that like kind of electromagnetic hum that exists with these drums. They're not particularly loud, but when they're gathered in this much density and moving in and out of different buildings and in and out of different slots. But you said that you wanted to park a little bit away from the location and then like walk up on approach.
I think that
Who said that?
Nim, I believe, said that. Like maybe park a little bit away so that you're not like right up on the thing.
I would agree with that.
I think that's good strategy.
Dig it.
Unfamiliar cars are unfamiliar and draw attention.
Also, this is a little bit of a flashier car.
Especially with someone sitting on top of them.
It's a noticeable
and it
car.
being
We don't
this
need
kind of
As
car.
we park,
They're gonna see us coming.
as we park, can I turn to the group and say, okay, so we all have to go, right? I can't wait on the car. Like here. Stay in the car?
What do you want to do?
I mean, I am usually more of a watcher. You know? I don't really.
You're gonna miss out on all the cool action.
That's true.
He might be all right with that, to be honest. I mean, if you're too nervous to go in.
No, I just need you all to know I am a coward. So if I have to run, I will. But I can go.
Oh, you know what? I respect somebody who's upfront about that, honestly.
Well, that means you'll run to the car to get the car for us.
No,
okay,
that means they will run and drive away, probably.
Wait.
Tery wouldn't do that.
Tery, I've got something for that. Here, take it.
What's
You know from Eddie, because you like Tery, you might be a little bit clueless. It's definitely drugs.
I can't. I am banned from using drugs because of a sponsorship and like a court thing. I can't. Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Look, Tery's a friend and he would never abandon us, and I just give Tery big puppy dog eyes. Or I guess bearded dragon eyes.
And yes, for those of you at home, I am leaning into the joke by using a Tide pen as my stand-in for a vape. So it's
and it's totally because of court and not because I am scared of using drugs. I am so old.
It's definitely a legal thing, not a fear.
Yeah, it's I wish I was drugged right now, but I can't.
I wish I was drugs.
I wish I was, but
I just picturing Kilo's mind about this, like Kelly, you're doing such a good reaction of us, like, all right. I'm getting a little bit more context for Tery than I've even had in our many conversations before about it's good to know that this is at the root of the person.
It's a truth that they're not afraid to be.
So.
That's okay.
That's good. Know thyself.
For those that are going to approach the thing, a reminder that as situations and challenges come up, feel free to be inventive within reason, and because we have not issued you your like standard issue equipment, just like just like with Eddie in the first episode where, or first session or second session, where there was a crowd and there might be a kerfuffle and stuff like that with the little like nicotine patch shock things. Feel free to come up with those 4 solutions when I present to you problems and everything. And then that's the thing that you have, or that's a consistent thing that you have access to. It might run out and you might have to buy more, but like you're able to bring that kind of stuff in the world as problem solving stuff, for situations. And then, but yeah, for everyone, I think the first thing, because you're trying to not, be a bit clandestine about this, I think the first thing that everyone in the group needs to do is decide to roll a hide roll. Now, you're welcome to use your drives for this. Just to give you how I'm going to calculate this, there are 5 of you. I'm going to trim out the bottom 2 rolls and take the average of the top 3. And so, because there are 5 of you, it's a very easy thing. So, not everyone in the group needs to roll well, but if everyone rolls bad, things will be there. There is social consequence to this if you all roll terribly bad and you get a 2 or a 1 on average, or you're in the 2 or a 1 average range.
All right, everybody roll better than me.
And wait, we're not rolling a specific skill.
Hide.
Just
hide.
Just hide.
Roll the 6.
It's undercutting. Hide is undercutting.
6.
Do we know what these people look like?
No. You don't know who's involved in this at all. You don't know. You know that there's an agent, and that the agent's name is, I believe, Agent Filandry.
Yeah.
Going in blind. All right.
I rolled with disadvantage, and I still got a 5.
Sorry.
Roll the 5.
Remind me.
Whoa.
The
other one was
we're going to investigate Filandry, or he's going to give us our mission.
No, Filandry is the one who put up the warning call. Beep the warning track.
We're hitting up an SOS.
And so you're hitting up an SOS. You know that there's danger, significant danger, and that they're at that location when they did that, and then that's all that you know. You don't know if it's still popping off. You don't know what the nature of the danger is. But your goal is you're hoping, because they haven't been able to contact any other senior agents, and had no communication. You're hoping you're able to recover this person safely, so that you can maybe get more answers about the organization. Because Grem, as an office manager,
gathering the intel.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I heard a 6 from Julia, and then a 5 and a 5 from Glitch and Kelly, and then a 3. And so the what did you you rolled badly, Will, I know that much.
Yeah, I got it too.
So that means Abby and Will, your rolls are discounted, and 2 5s and a 6 is really good. So how would you say, you all know that there is kind of regular cadence of security camera systems that exist for monitoring, sort of like your traffic cam energy, or your obvious exterior of a place anti-robbery monitoring things. This is easily first come, first serve, but how would you all deal with making sure that you're maybe not completely not in the cameras, but pretty off the radar on the cameras?
Hi, already cameras.
Are there many people out right now, or no?
There are not many people out right now. It is not lunchtime, so most people are in their buildings. There is the occasional person off in the distance, but these are people that are outside for like a smoke break kind of energy, or like going to a vehicle to go home for the day kind of thing. Not anyone that's like, nobody's in this area not going from point A to point B. And there's just, when I say not a lot, I mean, if you could see several blocks in every direction, you might see in line of sight of you less than 5 individividuals in any given, total, and most of them are fairly far off. All of them are fairly far off.
I think Tery has his own way of already go to the streets and not get recognized. Even if he's not as famous in some places, he's like always like, what if I get recognized? So maybe his sunglasses that are like unnecessarily big.
Okay. Has big celebrity sunglasses. Love it.
Yeah,
Sunglasses, the trench coat, the
goes
fedora.
almost covering the whole nose.
Julia, I'm gonna need this art.
Yeah,
I'm gonna need this art from
This is
you.
an art
and like
request.
Like
a
all you see is just like the tip of the
some
nose
stupid
and the
hat.
hairline. Like
Please.
you don't see his
Yeah,
glasses.
I have a
and maybe
request.
a fedora.
I have a
like
request. If you
hat.
have a fedora, I have a deep request for you. You do not have to abide by this. But can he also always on him have this chunky scarf that he applies so it kind of covers him
Yes.
up to the bottom of the glasses? So it's hat,
Yeah.
glasses, scarf. And then
Yeah.
Just
and then
looks like
that
the
covers.
Invisible Man, basically.
It kind of makes you look at him more.
Yeah.
Right. It's
You
like, who
cannot
is this
see his
oddball?
face. What is happening?
Eddie is going to be employing everyone's favorite method of maintaining a low profile while simultaneously looking as sketchy as possible, and that's the hoodie with the hood up and like as low as possible, and just sort of like keep the body language like very tight and close. Like, nope, nothing to see here.
Just a person trying not to get noticed.
Yeah, pretty much.
But
I know there's not a lot of foot traffic. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Like Izzy's doing this
Okay.
right now because they got the home field. Izzy's going full sports mode. They got the home field advantage, right? So what we need to do is figure out a way to get in like a pincer maneuver so they won't understand and notice what's going on. If they notice one of us, they won't notice all of us. We can go up and down, left and right.
Okay,
This is like the plays I did in Borg's Ball. In Borg's
That
Ball, which
sounded really
is
clever.
Maybe
some of us
not
can go up,
big,
some of us can go down.
fast movements.
What? Well, Borg's Ball, BORKS, battles over really killer stuff like that. So really,
Do you write these down?
No.
No, but my transcriber captures all of them.
I want a list by the end of campaign 1 just to know how many
sports that you've invented. Okay, so
we're already at like
Izzy,
half a dozen.
in a sport, Izzy in a very kind of like athletic coach, like team captain way, is basically defining, okay, we need to like look at what's going on and see if we can figure out a path where we're just like the least noticeable on all these cameras. Kelly, you were asking about, that there's less people. You were going to go on a train of thought. What was yours?
Yeah, I know there's not foot traffic, but is there like traffic?
Other than the drones for the deliveries, and then the
Like
occasional vehicle that is like a human delivery vehicle, no. And I will just tell you in advance. There is traffic on one side of this building that is the loading dock for those kinds of vehicles, this large building. But when I say that these buildings are big warehouses, it means that if you're on any side of the building that is not the side that this loading dock is, they cannot see you. These are like Costco, the biggest Costco buildings you could possibly imagine, kind of energy, like just
this
massive.
Is Kmart warehouse.
Yeah, big
I
warehouse.
think we use our advantage of free pizza.
Lord.
Do you want to say that you have some pizzas?
Lord.
Huge pizza party, bro.
But what were you going to say, Kelly?
Oh, nothing. I'm just recalling because you brought up the drones again. I think I'm just going to try to take note of the flight pattern of the drones and then use like a quote unquote flock of them as cover for moving past cameras once I've realized how they maneuver their way through the space.
I'm going to have you roll for that. I'm going to give you a free die on this. It will be I'm going to say you can roll either survey or because it's a thinky thing, right? No. I'm going to say you can roll survey or focus, or you can roll read out of the read category, and kind of interpret drone language as interpret body language, or hide. Any of those four, and you get whatever you're gonna roll. You get one free like die option here. So I'm giving you a free die on this because I really like you using the drones as cover.
Free drive.
Got a 6.
Perfect 6.
Nice.
Rolling so fire.
Alongside of Izzy's communication of finding the path through, and Kilo looking at a way to make that a little bit simpler, and Eddie or Eddie and Tery and the rest of you all trying to make yourselves look nondescript for this region. I will say that you can confidently and successfully approach the exterior of the building and not be spotted on any public cameras in a way that anyone will take notice, unless something happens that some law enforcement would inevitably have to be like, let's look at all the cameras in the area again.
Enhanced.
We're not looking
yeah.
particularly suspicious.
So right now, barring some disastrous thing that makes a lot of noise or that becomes apparent, you might as well be employed at the building you're going to. As you approach this building, go on.
I was wondering, can I make a call while we're sneaking over there stealthily to our Quasar's headquarters?
Yeah,
I am dead serious on this pizza thing. Mark, we need like a pizza party worth of pizzas at our location.
I like that you call Mark specifically. Mark's like, oh, okay, okay, and then Grem you hear Grem push Mark out of the way, and Grem's like, all right, express delivery, okay, it'll be there in 5 minutes. We did a little research on the building. There should be about this many employees. It'll be there about 5 minutes. Would you like us to say that it's from the company that owns the warehouse? Or
yes, and make sure some are vegetarian because we want to respect their wishes.
Yeah. Vegetarian, gluten-free, dairy-free, all different kinds of options. Heavy meat lovers, classics.
With sauce, no sauce.
With sauce, no sauce. There's enough employees in that building to justify about 25 different pizzas. So 25 extra larges. So we'll do that. We're sending some wings with it. Wings with it.
We have wings?
Yes, we have wings. Wings are also unlimited wings free.
Unlimited?
It's unlimited free pizza and unlimited free wings at Quasars for being part of the organization.
I'm so glad I work for here now.
It does bring up the question, is Quasars just always a cover front for secret organizations? You don't know. You don't have the way to finding out right now. But
right now.
But
continue about it until later.
So they put that in and it's like, okay, that should be there in about 5 minutes.
Make it 10.
Make it 10? 10 minutes. Okay, 10 minutes.
Give us a little wiggle room, yeah.
You want them to take more time to get it here?
10 minutes.
Just out of character, just in case we fuck up.
Fuck up and have to bounce quick. It'll be like, this had nothing to do with us.
Take longer. I'm sorry. It's just funny to me.
I've done that on DoorDash orders where I was leaving work and I wanted to have the food arrive roughly when I got home. So I'm like, can this be an hour and 15 minutes so that I get home when the food arrives? And the answer is no.
It's not just sitting out and getting cold.
The answer is never.
It's always too soon or too late.
It's always too soon or too late, and I never fault it. No one gets paid enough to care. Nonetheless, that's in play. The front of this building is pretty windowless, pretty basic. Like the bottom half of it is gray. It looks like it would be about 3 standard commercial stories high. So it's about 30 feet high, or converting to meters, 9 meters, roughly 9 to 10 meters high, for people that use real measurement units. But it's about 30 feet high. And everything. You suspect that it's not like 3 standard floors. You suspect that it's probably gutted on the inside, but maybe there's some floors with offices and stuff like that. And it really just has a couple of main sets of entryway doors and 2 fire security exit doors that are sort of like near the main entryway doors. One of them looks like a standard entryway door. It's about standard size for most humanoids on Velis. Your standard like 8-foot doorway, commercial doorway, or 7.5-foot commercial doorway. And then the other one is larger. It's probably about 15 feet or 5 meters tall, and is like a big kind of kind of large receiving door, but it's not like a shipping door or anything like that. You imagine this is for just getting in larger or smaller equipment in and out the front. Or maybe it's just the front entry for the warehouse workers to just get back into the warehouse and go, so that they don't have to go to the office park. But you can pretty much assume, and especially with Nim there, even though Abby isn't, because they've worked at so many offices, that one's like, oh yeah, that's where that's the warehouse entrance, that's the office's entrance. So those are the two entrances that you see on this side of the building. The other sides are completely blank, and you know that the opposite side is where the warehouse, where any human-driven vehicles would show up, and where a lot of the drones are like routing themselves to go in their final route to pick up the things from the automatic conveyor belts that they then pick up and send.
And all we truly know is we lost contact with Filandry here.
Yeah, Filandry never even called or anything. Filandry hit a panic button, basically.
Ooh,
Okay.
Mm.
been there.
Okay.
Been there.
All right.
All right, so you don't know anything. You can't hear anything outside of what you've already been hearing. This is basically a mystery building at this point on what you're walking into. Your main two
Is there
options.
security on the outside?
There's no physical security, and the cameras are included in the whole camera thing. You figured out a positioning so that you won't be spotted on any outdoor cameras or anything like that. You can't do anything about any indoor monitoring, but from here, as far as you know. But like, you are, again, barring, like, if you explode the building, right, then of course they're gonna investigate. Hey, how'd we get there? But like barring anything popping off real bad, there'd be no reason anyone would notice that you were here up to this point.
Tery, you got an idea?
Can I do a focus roll to see if I can inspect around to like find anything suspicious? Maybe the guy lost something, an item,
like
or
signs of
something
struggle.
Yes, exactly.
Is it struggle?
Okay.
Yeah, Tery, give me a focus roll. I'm gonna say that this is not no consequences to this, but again, ease of what you're trying to accomplish is affected by the highness of this roll, and so there's something to find that will make this part much easier. There's something to find that will make this part much easier.
Okay,
for
so
you
I'll burn
if you
a
roll
drive.
and give you more context of what's going on for that minute.
Okay, so it's 3 dice.
3 dice. 3 dice, Tery.
5.
5.
1,
Excellent.
4, and 5.
That's high enough for this.
Nice.
Tery, you look around and you're very confident in your disguise because you've gone out in public all the time with this disguise and people don't approach you.
Oh yeah.
And everything, and you know that that no one's gonna notice you, all the way up to the point of you getting a good eye line on the inside of the like regular kind of office entry doors that are just sort of your classic like badge in style doors. Number one, you notice that there's a badge entry, and Tery, you notice, and maybe it's because you stream all the time and you have to troubleshoot on it, or troubleshoot all these things. It's not on. It's not lit. So the badge entry is disabled. Badge entry is disabled, and more importantly, when you look through the door, there's like a little bit of a window with some of that like old school glass security wire frame grating, so that it doesn't shatter if it gets knocked in, and so you can kind of see through it. It's relatively clean. It looks like it might be even relatively newly installed as a maintenance thing. You can kind of look at it, Tery. You don't see anyone in what is very kind of clearly like a front area, like a desk. And if you're so bold, there'll be no
front lobby person.
Yeah, if you'll be so bold, there's no consequences to this, and
which
so
I'm not.
Maybe thoughtless. If you'll be so thoughtless and everything, if you get closer to it, when you look in it, you will see basically like a reception, and the reception has nobody in it. The lights are off. The lights are off, but they don't look out. You can see that there's power in here. You can see that there's other things, but like the overhead lights are off. So it looks like the entry badge has been turned off, and it looks like there's no one in the front room on the office side.
I think maybe we should go there because there's no one guarding it?
What do you mean?
Does-
There's no one. This is a full facility. There's
Yeah, look.
nobody
Can I
here.
show? Yeah, can
Yeah,
I show
Absolutely.
you?
all of you are very confident. I'm not going to mechanically punish you because, of
Yeah.
course, the die are there. So all of you can look in through the window and see that it's completely empty. Dark lit. You can see that there's some other like little electronics that are plugged in that are lit up and everything. So it's not that there's no power. It's that the lights are specifically turned off and that the badge entry to the door, the little like reader, is not on.
It feels like a trap.
Or
Yeah,
a way in
true.
All right.
that somebody
All right.
provided while trying to be sneaky. Like the
So
guy we're trying to find.
someone should go first to see if it's a trap. Easy, go.
Okay.
Easy come, easy go. That's,
Izzy come, Izzy go.
Exactly.
Easy come. That's the name of the episode.
Izzy come, Izzy go is the name of the episode. I will make sure of it. Hold on, let me
Oh my God.
let me just retitle the
Is
stream.
he
It
able
won't
to
come up.
dodge the trap? Who's to say?
Izzy come, Izzy go, and we won't go full on it. But yeah, there we
This
go.
makes me think that like something. It either feels like a trap or something happened here facility wide to everyone here. Doesn't feel good either way.
No, it doesn't. And
Izzy strolls in.
No.
So Izzy, do you just go in?
Oh boy.
Like I peek around, but it's like
Oh no.
it's like that
The
kind of
cider is
hello, but like
hella
hello,
fermented.
anybody here?
Oh my gosh. Don't
Just
you
a-
dare!
It's like,
You're saying hello.
Hello.
No, it's like that.
Eddie?
It's like I'm
Hello?
saying it.
Hello.
I'm saying it out loud, like,
Hello?
hey, anybody here? Just so I don't get in trouble when people say
Hey.
Oh,
hello.
like normal volume. Okay. Eddie, what do you got?
Yeah.
I would like to make a sense check and use this bleed detector that I picked up.
Yeah. Make that sense check. Bonus die for the bleed detector.
All right. That is a 6.
Whoop whoop.
Pretty good.
A 6.
So yeah, just wait a second. I picked up this thing and just
Thinking from
take
the
it out.
from right at the edge of the building. It's
fiddled with some dials and
with it. I want to give it to you. Give it really strongly. I'm going to carry the 6 from right at the edge of the building. I'm going to say that you get a low level on your little and we're not going to pretend that we're not all imagining that it makes clicks like a radiation detector. Of course it does.
Yeah.
So you hear the kind of clicking pattern of it that is above the resting level that you would expect for this area. Like it's a little noisier in the fungal forest. It's a little noisier in certain facilities, and everything like that, and everything. But like in an area like this, it should be not completely dead silent, but near dead silent. And it's got like a kind of a low level right here. I'm gonna carry this 6 forward when you're physically in a space for me to genuinely let it pop off a bit more.
I am going to sort of follow behind Izzy.
Okay, as Izzy and Nim, or does Izzy and Eddie kind of move into the building first at behest of Tery. I need Nim, you get a ping on your earbud. That's a message from Gray Industries, specifically from Talk to Me, your employer.
No.
Oh my God.
Don't pick up.
Do you open the message? It's not a call. It's like a text message / email kind of thing. Do you open it?
Okay, so they can't trace it necessarily.
Nope. Not necessarily. Well, you don't know when
far
they
as we
open
know.
something.
Oh no.
Oh,
Spam
It's like
is
a
the thing.
it's like a text or an email.
Text or an
Let's
email.
insight check. Let's insight check.
Yeah,
this
yeah. Do you want to roll about it before you make a decision?
Oof.
Yes.
What are the intentions of this text?
What's the title of the text?
Yeah, like
Okay,
what's the title tagline is the freaking
You
me
left me
out.
on red. I know you were there.
So you know it's from them because the like the source organization that's sending it,
Yeah.
much like a company email, is sending it, and the message is from your offices, but it's from like a shared inbox. That's like staffing at talktome.com. And
So it's like an automated email kind of thing.
and it's like, and the subject line is talk to me RE wellness check.
Wellness check. If it's an email or a text, you have about 10 to 15 minute leeway room where they just assume maybe you're not looking. So she's going to give it a little time.
Okay, you're going to keep it there. No role necessary. Historically, you would know that this might be something as innocuous as an automated system being like you're supposed, like it might be something like checking in on you, but you aren't scheduled today, but checking in on you if you didn't call, if you called, no showed. It might be something that's just like, hey, here's an update of a mental health source that we barely put any time investigating in, but we want to say that we're taking care of the mental health of our employees, kind of thing.
Here's the health quote of the day.
Yeah, and
did you know that running this much was actually going to be good for your heart?
It could be like a notice to like 401k update. This is the kind of stuff that comes that is all kinds of HR related. But wellness check or wellness check doesn't necessarily mean it was a deliberate choice by someone. It doesn't mean that either.
1000%. Listen, I know Steve is trying to comfort you right now, but I bet you they tried to access your eyes.
Oh, 100%.
It's so spooky. I bet you they did.
After the surgery that Nim just had, she's like, wellness check. I had unplanned surgery. I'm not well, and you don't need to check on me to know that.
That's so creepy.
It's so creepy.
It's like, hey, we can't monitor you. Are you good? Yeah,
Are
I'm
you
not
good?
being monitored. It's amazing.
We can no longer watch you pee. Are you good?
Listen.
We no longer know how fast you breathe on average. That's a problem.
I've not ever had the chance to run an Orwellian like late stage capitalist hellscape in this fashion where the technology lives that I can integrate so much. Just like, what's one more step beyond what we already live in, and everything, and I'm going to eat up every chance I get of it.
It's so good, it's so spooky. It's like they could count how many times I sneeze.
I've got your number.
And that's problematic.
So Izzy.
So she sees that, she's like, I'm gonna let that hang. I'm not gonna do that right now.
Izzy and Eddie are creeping in first. Izzy, no role necessary for that. No one responds to your like quiet hello. Anyone there? I'm not trying to like be a problem or anything like that. It is indeed dark and empty in this space. It's a standard sort of reception space for offices. There's a desk, or like there's like a counter desk with like a log that people can sign in. There's like a telecom system, a personal computer, an empty chair. It's dark in here, but not like so dark that it's like pitch black and everything, but it's pretty dim in here, with the lights off and only having the glow of like the monitor and various other little electronics. And then like there's a corner lamp and some couches and stuff like that. The corner lamp is still on, but it's not very bright and everything. But no one's there. No one's in this room. And when you enter in this room, what you see without rolling is you see all of the kind of standard reception stuff. You see a door there. You see a door off to the right of the reception that looks like not a proper barrier door, but just sort of like a privacy door that kind of swings, and everything. And that has a hallway that is a bunch of offices. And then you also see like a little water machine, and you hear ever so gently playing over some lo-fi hip-hop music as the kind of lobby music of this that kind of sits there, playing on loop, quietly playing around. But it is eerily quiet and incredibly well treated for sound. So it is there is not like a lot of ambient noise in here. So you can hear that music, and but it's very silent in here, like like a recording studio room.
All right.
Can I
Do we
look
have
at the monitor in the reception?
What? Look at the monitor.
I was just saying,
What did you ask, Kelly?
just if we have communicators, so we can, like, were we
Yeah.
given communicators by the organization?
No, you can just directly communicate with each other.
Okay.
We'll say that over the drive over, you made sure that everyone was able to communicate with each other as needed.
All right.
But there's not like telepathy per se. So like Nim
I
keeps
gotcha.
Bluetooth in their bird
Yeah.
hole ear thing. So
All right.
The most terrible way to
Your
describe it.
birdie
Thank
ear
you.
hole.
So,
yeah.
Yeah.
And like
My
Tery
ears, my
Izzy,
hearing
probably
canal.
has an implant, and you know that Eddie has like spectacles that can pop things, so Eddie
Special
probably has
stuff.
something. But I could imagine that Kilo is not the type of person to want like pings in his ear when like
no.
things happen, and things happen, and Izzy might be the kind of person that's like, yeah, I got the smartphone, but like I have like a syncable earpiece and I forget to wear it all the time, kind of thing, or like it's out of
This is
battery.
all totally on Izzy's watch.
Yeah, it's on his watch. He's got a smartwatch.
A sportsy smartwatch.
Smartwatch. Yeah, it can
How many
survive in
steps has
water
Izzy gotten
depths.
today?
It can survive in water depths of up to like 500 feet for no apparent reason other than it's dope that it can. It can deal with that level of pressure.
That's how I keep my calorie intake and everything, dude. Like just.
It's a
So
Fitbit.
while Izzy is still looking around, Kilo, seeing that they're not all immediately reporting back out of the building, is going to follow.
So Kilo rolls in.
Yeah.
Eddie, what are you
I'm
doing
gonna
when you
head in.
first enter this? I know Izzy's going to go to the monitor.
I am. What's going on with my detector?
As you move further in, and it takes it all the way until you get near kind of the door to the hallways of office to the hallways, you see that it goes up. So whatever's causing it is further and deeper into the building. Which this is normal. This is normal in how your detector works. It's always sort of like an area location kind of thing.
Right. Yeah, no, I'm keeping an eye on my bleed detector.
Okay. Kilo, you followed in. Nim and Tery, do you follow Kilo in?
Yes.
Tery?
I go behind. I'm the last one.
Tery stays in the back, appropriately so.
Behind the very large Kilo, and then behind the very tall bird, and then we have Tery.
Tery, who I imagine has big 5'8" male energy, where you're not quite short, but you're short-ish. You're a little small for a guy.
Comfortably average.
But
very average guy.
Yeah, but not
average.
so small, not so short that anyone's going to take notice unless you're surrounded by taller people.
I do appreciate. I do appreciate that our Mystery Incorporated has its, Shaggy.
Yeah, it's Shaggy.
Who's that?
Izzy, you go up to the monitor to look at it. You see a pretty standard corporate like desktop interface. It is not locked. Like it's not Windows L or Apple L, Command L. It's not in its like little like typical company. You need to enter a password to interact back to this. And there's files open on it. There's a calendar open up on it, managing different appointments. You literally could sit down and just investigate what this computer has on it right here and now.
That's exactly what I do. With no idea about technology.
All right.
Exactly what
the
I
least
do.
techie of the group.
You know how to use. You're a regular computer user at least, and everything. So you know how files are stored. You're not like a boomer, where you're like, I don't understand how to.
Of your average receptionist.
Listen, you know how to save something to a PDF. That's I think where your threshold is of being like.
Yeah, my threshold isn't like command keys.
Yeah. You don't understand that F11 brings up the console on a browser, and that's a thing that you can use to look at links for things. That's not where you're at. So you start digging around on that. Eddie has their bleed detector out. Kilo, Nim, and Tery in
Yeah.
this empty space that's playing gentle, quiet, lo-fi hip hop. What are you looking for, or what are you doing while you're in this room?
Well, since we are near where the general receptionist desk would be, I am looking for a sign-in. Who was in here latest? If Filandry is on the list, if they're under some other sort of moniker, just who was most recently.
All right.
And when did those sign-ins stop?
All right. Give me a what
That's
kind of roll is
genius.
that? Give me in the focus roll. That's what it is.
Focus.
Inspect.
All right.
Inspect a focus or survey. I'm good with perception or investigation.
Okay.
In this.
All right. I got a 5.
And a 5. You go through the list. It doesn't take you long because it's the last sign in for it. And cutely, you see that the last person that signed in is a Mr. Phil Landry. Phil Landry.
Okay.
Mr. Phil Landry. And they signed in roughly about 90 minutes ago, which is after all the things went down with the thing and everything.
Yeah.
But while you guys were probably just coming out of, or maybe already on your way to the pizza place, but like about an hour and a half ago.
So that means an hour and a half ago, this place was staffed.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's within the span of 90 minutes, it's not.
Mm-hmm.
That is deeply unsettling.
That's very scary.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is the camera that I saw? No, did I see a camera?
You
Or
saw
am I-
multiple cameras, but yeah.
Yeah. Is there any camera like directed at us right now?
You
Again, pointed towards the reception room.
Tery, I'm not going to make you roll for this.
Okay.
Tery, you look, and there is a camera in the corner ceiling. That's like a black bulb camera, like you'd see in many retail spaces and office spaces.
Okay.
And everything where you can't quite see the lens, but you know that it's a camera and everything. And Tery, you know that it's off.
I
Just
know
like the
that
card
it's
reader.
off. Oh,
Mhm.
I was about to do something. Okay. So I don't. Okay.
Yeah, it's off. It doesn't look broken though.
Okay.
Somebody just politely turned everything off for us.
Very
Okay.
What were you thinking of doing, Tery?
I was gonna like throw a shoe or something.
Throw a shoe at it?
Break
I was
it.
gonna throw a
Just a bit.
shoe.
Just a bit.
I was gonna do a bit. That's
um,
why I'm here.
for the bits. I mean, you can decide if Tery throws a shoe at it to make sure that it's off. You just know that it's off because it doesn't have the little red light on it.
No, if I know it's off, I don't think I'm gonna throw my shoe.
I
this
would
time.
like everyone in this
Harry starts reaching for the shoe, sees the lights off, and goes, "Never mind."
only because we're approaching this, and I don't want to keep us super long for this, but this is we're at just a shy moment of that a good moment for this. I would like everyone in this group to please roll either a sense or a survey roll, your choice. Let me know your number. The consequences for this is high. And if you roll badly as a group, same group thing. But I do need to know what skill that is because it's going to define which ones we pick, the majority of the skill. But the consequences of this are high both in difficulty and high both in potential, almost immediate harm, physical.
Okay.
Am I able to get the extra die for my detector with this sense roll? If I use sense?
If you use sense, yes, you get the extra die for you. And also,
we're gonna do a survey.
Also, I'll give you some information to honor the 6 at the end of this, regardless. For you,
I'm gonna use. I'm
feel
gonna
free
use
to burn some drives.
I'm gonna use my basic training to get an extra die because this is a high pressure situation.
Yeah, it is a high pressure situation. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
4 for Eddie.
I'll use drive. I'm gonna use a drive.
6 for Nim.
Got a 6 on my spooky dice.
I burned the drive, so I don't do it.
I got a
with
6.
disadvantage.
6
I
with
am throwing a
6
lot
for
of
Kilo. Izzy,
a
did you
lot
get
of
a 6?
3s, but now a 6.
I got a 6.
Okay. And then what did you get, Tery? It's okay because everyone
good.
there's 3
Oh.
6s, so you're golden. But
I was
what'd you
debating
get?
Okay.
You get
drives
yourself
and
a
not like
2.
I got a 2.
That too.
You got
Okay.
snake eyes.
Okay.
I still
Tery.
have my shoes.
Tery, you take off your shoe and throw it at the camera. Tery, I'm gonna go through each of you. Izzy, what were you rolling? Was it survey or was it survey or was it sense?
I have dots and survey, so definitely survey.
Survey. Kilo, what were you rolling?
Also survey.
And then so it's Nim. What were you? I'm curious what you were rolling, but it's gonna be the survey result.
Survey.
Yeah, okay, so it was survey. Surveys all around.
Team
So
survey.
It made sense to me to go for survey.
Yeah.
all right, so Tery throws a shoe. Eddie, you're focused on your tracker because as you got closer to the door,
Can I throw my belt?
you can throw your belt.
So I'm
sure.
not. Okay, I'm gonna throw
Just
my
taking
belt.
his
Tery's shoe
belt off?
gets stuck on the camera, and now he has one.
Tery throws the belt. It breaks the camera.
That's expensive.
And Tery throws the belt. Eddie, you're focused on your reader. I'm gonna narrate that in a bit. Izzy, you're at the computer. Izzy, at the computer.
Izzy.
You are clicking around and everything like that.
Oh, yes, I am at the computer.
Izzy, you're at the computer, clicking around and everything like that, looking at the files, like just looking for something obvious, right? You're like, they're not gonna hide things under things they don't understand, and everything. And you see a little, like, we'll call it a shortcut, a little icon, a little app icon, eventually that just says monitor Swift, and it has a little image of like a security camera.
I click it.
When you open it up, you see two
And say,
options.
I'm in.
You see two options. You see, because it's got like a little interface. It talks about hours, but it's not showing you camera immediately because you see two options. Looks like they've categorized it to warehouse and offices. Which one do you pick? And you're only going to get to pick one in this scenario. So warehouse or offices, which one do you pick?
Odds and evens. Odds office, evens warehouse. Come on, blue dot. Let's see what we got. That was a 6. So what did I say evens were?
I don't know.
I really don't know.
What do you want?
All right, decide again, and you gotta roll again.
Odds office because of O.
So evens is warehouse. So you warehouse.
Oh my
You're gonna warehouse. So you come onto the warehouse. Immediately, Izzy, you see something you weren't at all prepared to see. Number one, the cameras in the warehouse are on. Number two, you can see that the warehouse seems to be operating to a degree in the way that there's a lot of automation of like pickers and dropping them off onto conveyor belts for drones to go deliver things and everything. But you're drawn really immediately to a bunch of various flashes as you see that there is a firefight in one corner of the warehouse. The camera is not close, right? It's not like zoomed in, so it's kind of like in kind of a corner. But you can see that there seems to be one person firing at several other people. One humanoid sentient firing at several other people, pinned down and moving around, trying desperately to keep their location mobile while they have this firefight with a bunch of other people. And it's your kind of classic, like, hiding behind things, shooting, trying to reposition. That's what's happening in the warehouse. You don't have any sound, but you can see that it's happening in, we'll call it the northwest corner of the warehouse.
Oh my gosh.
I call everybody to the monitor.
Yeah. Kilo. Well, right before Izzy calls you there, you are looking around, like really trying to suss out what's going on, noticing that there, the 90 minutes you looked over there, and you just happen to glance up and look through the doorway and everything, and you have time to physically react to pull Nim and Tery aside as you see somebody walk out of an office with a full like paramilitary grade
Oh my gosh.
get up,
Oh my god.
and then they walk out. And because you all rolled a 6, for the safety reasons, they walk the other direction and not toward that. And they do not see any of you. But you know that there are people with like straight up like private military contractor
this is not a
organization
joke.
kit in this place now. And they walk out of one office, and you can see just catch it that they then go down, walk a few, walk several paces, and go into another office.
Okay.
Nim, before Kilo can comment on that, you get another ping surprisingly fast.
Lord.
With another wellness check.
Stop it. They're trying. Oh my gosh.
This is awful.
I'm trying to get back into your mind, man.
Eddie.
It's like a toxic ex
Eddie.
who won't leave you
I
alone.
need you to roll me a
Why aren't you texting me back?
focus or sense roll.
Did you get my text?
Did you get my
Should be on red.
Babe, I haven't seen you in so long.
I can see the dot bubble. Like, are you
literally
good?
Little bit of sorry. Consequence for Eddie. Significant bleed damage.
Significant bleed damage.
Yeah.
Yeah, spooky damage.
So, am I taking a mark?
You might. You might take, depending on your roll. You want at least a 5, preferably a 6. If you get anything below that, you will take some mark. If you get a really bad roll, you will take more than 1 mark. Significant bleed damage as you see the thing spike
6.
up. So you got a 6.
6, yep.
Thank God you had your equipment out and on, because you saw it spike instantly, and you girded your mind because you know what that means, and everything, and like a person that ducks behind a post as a sudden gust of wind in a growing tropical storm doubles the wind speed significantly. Eddie, you feel it across the whole of your consciousness as something very deliberate and very deliberate and very aggressive just pushes out. None of the rest of you have this. And you look around, Eddie, because you are almost instantly, you don't have time to warn anyone, and you are almost instantly worried that this is some sort of like psychic thing. And you look around and nobody else seems to be affected, which tells you 2 things with a 6. Number one, that this was on purpose, and number 2, that you don't know the degree of knowledge, but that it was on purpose, targeted to you or somebody in your vein of ability set.
Okay.
So something's being done on that, and then immediately the counter goes back to where it was. So there's still the bleed sense, there's still bleed kind of like happening, but like damage, you take no marks because you got a 6. But you take no marks because you got a 6. You got that at the exact same time. At the exact same time, Tery,
bye.
You get a ping on whatever device you get pinged on. Maybe just in your brain. I don't know what Tery's preferred method of communication. And the
he has an old phone, remember?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Tery has like a super old flip phone.
Flip. Yeah.
Yeah. It vibrates.
God,
it buzzes in your pocket. It buzzes in your pocket.
Oh my God! Someone did it perfectly. I pick it up.
It's a message. It's not like a phone call. It's a message, and it just like it reads you out, but it pings you, and the subject reads ransom, and the picture is Alexander tied up somewhere in a room.
Oh my God.
And we'll get into the details of what it says and what you all can do about all of this next time.
Oh my God.
Can I say one thing?
Yeah, you can say one thing.
Oh my God.
When I say this, I gasp and my pants fall. because I threw my.
Because your bell is off. Because your
You
bell
threw
is
your
off.
bell.
Julia is not lying when Julia's like, I must get the bit in.
I must be
With
a
Tery, Tery with pants
I just
dropping
picture at one
news.
point in time. I just picture at one point in time while Tery's distributing trying to find a catchphrase. This really bites was a thing.
Yeah, there's definitely been every pun
This
that could
bites.
possibly be made
yeah.
with bite.
Indubitably.
And with that, we will end this session of Cosmos Candela. There are troops. There's a firefight. Gray Industries is trying to get a hold of Nim. Nim. There's some sort of thing going on that is only seeming to affect Eddie right now, but maybe other dangers. There's an agent in trouble, and we will find out all of the things that you have to do about that next time. But for now, let's go around really, really fast. We're going to start with the Kelhop. Kelhop, where can people find you on the internet, and what should they be consuming of yours?
I'm here. Hi, I'm the Kelhop, and I play here, and I play on the Heart as a Dungeon, and I do audio drama things. And why are you laughing at me? Did I say something silly, Goose? Was I saying?
You bring me endless joy in my life.
Oh, Abby, that's your job. You're the giggle girl.
True.
But yeah, that's me. That's it.
Will, where can people find you?
Hey everybody, you can find me over on TikTok. Well, sorry, my voice is really starting to go. You can find me over on TikTok at Radio Free Will. You can also find me on YouTube and Twitch at Radio_Free Will. You can also find me on alternating Friday nights over on ADH Adventures here on Twitch, where I play Arco Delage, the Nightcast Solar in their Exalted campaign. Also, I'm going to be streaming a lot more on my personal Twitch channel starting here pretty soon. And you can also find me on startplaying.games, which once again, my username there is once again Radio Free Will. And you can sign up for any of the games I'm running right now. Currently doing Worldwide Wrestling and Exalted 3rd Edition. If you like, there's still seats available in those. I'm also taking requests. If there's a game that you would like to play that's not Dungeons and Dragons, I'll do my damnedest to run it for you.
All right, Abby.
Hello, my name is Abby. You can find me as Giggle Girl Productions, mainly on TikTok. Also hanging out here with these fine folk. So that's where you can find me. Laughing all the way.
Glitch.
You can find me at That Son of a Glitch on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, what have you. I've kind of been on vacation till the end of the month, seeing family and all that good stuff. That's why my connection's been kind of wonky.
Mm-hmm.
But afterwards, you'll see cosplays, videos, sketches, voice acting stuff done. I might be in a trailer or two for certain things whenever they. I'm actually on the NDA too, so I can't say anything. But other than trailer.
Other than trailers coming, trailers pending. And finally, Julia.
It's for a villain.
I believe it.
Julia.
Hi, my name is Julia. I'm lagging for some reason.
It's okay.
My camera was hard today. And I like to do drawings on my Instagram.
She's so
at
good at it.
stark.ju. You can go there for...
Do follow them.
A bunch of drawings.
Hell yeah.
Do follow them and then commission them for artwork because they're fantastic and very professional.
Because it's amazing.
It's very good art and it is handled in a professional manner. And give them money. And give all of these creators money on their various personal links across social media at Dying of Exposure here. You're already here, but you can find me on socials across at Dying of Exposure. And I'm just going to pitch something that you can find at dyingofexposure.com. Pitch something that you'll be able to find there, or typing in in directly. There's a few beta episodes already up of it, about 5 or 6 of them. But starting on Thursday of this week, the version 1.0 of something called Ghost Town Video Podcast. If you are like, man, I just want to hear the opinions about film and television from two white guys, and I just don't know where to look for that. You can find it from me and my buddy Brandon. We do a lot of film stuff. We do a lot of film and television stuff, but we mostly focus on things that are like forgotten gems or like really bad movies, like movies that star Rodney Dangerfield, like kind of bad movies, or like foreign horror films, or like Soviet propaganda fantasy films from the 60s. So we've got a little bit of that, a little bit of what's going on now and what we're watching. Of course, we talk about Severance. We are white guys.
Even beyond the grave, he still can't get no respect.
And no, he cannot. And everything. So those will be coming up every other week. And you can listen to it at it's called Ghost Town Video, and you can listen to it wherever you listen to pods. Again, there's like 5 very long episodes up where we were kind of testing the format, and then new episodes will be between will be under an hour, and instead of an hour and a half, and everything. So look for this there. But for now, I was gonna raid someone, and then I just didn't see anyone I want to raid. So instead, I want you, if you would normally join a raid, to instead go to one of these fine creators' social media links and follow them, comment on their things, engage them, raid them across the internet. But for now, bye everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Have a good night.
See you in the stars.